Hi everyone, and welcome to a brief tutorial on using library databases for academic and scholarly research. I'm going to try to keep this as brief as possible, but my purpose here is to walk you through some of your options for using our databases that are available through the USC Upstate Library. So I want to start by taking you to our Blackboard course site. I've added a couple of links to the left menu. If you will scroll all the way down on the left-hand side to feedback and help. Under that subheading, you will notice a link to the USC Upstate Library databases. You will also notice a link titled Library Research Guide. This library research guide has actually been created by one of our research librarians, Virginia Canini. She created this for an English Composition 1 course, and it's a great resource. You can see there is a menu going across the top of the screen. It has some great tips for search strategies. You may want to review that for using Boolean operators. It has some great videos within the library guide. It also contains, under the heading Articles and Databases, links to some of our general library databases. As you can see, some of my favorites include Academic OneFile and Academic Search Complete. These databases will cover a huge variety of topics. They will also include different types of resources, from periodicals and newspapers to videos and peer-reviewed journals. So I would encourage you to check out this resource if you have a few minutes. The last thing I'll just mention is that there is also a reference including MLA documentation style, and last year there was an update to the MLA handbook, so if you choose to use MLA formatting for the documentation in your research project, you will want to make sure that you follow these new guidelines. So there's lots of links and information here regarding MLA documentation. Going back to our Blackboard site, I want to take you to the USC Upstate Library Databases page. Now, this page can also be accessed from the library's home page. So I'll open a new tab for you here. And if you actually visit the USC Upstate website, which is uscupstate.edu, we have a link to our library's homepage. From this page, you can simply scroll down to Databases and e-Resources. So that's another way that you can access these databases, but the link from Blackboard will take you straight to this page. You'll see that the databases are alphabetized. We have 296 different databases. Again, Academic OneFile, Academic Search Complete are some of the easiest to navigate, and they are generalized databases, so you will be able to find pretty much any topic in these databases. However, since we are focusing on educational research, I would encourage you to check out the educational databases that we have in our collection. For example, if we scroll through the databases, you will notice that we have an EBSCOhost education database. This link will take you to several of our education-specific databases. Now, as you can see, when I try to access the databases, the website prompts me to enter my credentials. These are going to be the same credentials that you use to log into your Blackboard account. So very simply, from any computer, any internet connection, you can access these databases, which of course are paid for by the university, and you just need your Blackboard login and password. Once we have logged into the educational databases, note that all of these databases are collected and maintained by EBSCOhost, and there's a variety of different databases here, including the generalized subject heading Academic Search Complete, Education Full Text. You probably are already very familiar with ERIC, which is probably the one I rely on the most when I'm doing educational research. I do want to just show you when you click on the specific database you would like to search. Again, it's very intuitive, very user-friendly. You'll notice that you can enter up to 3 keywords, and there is an autocomplete which suggests various keywords. So, for example, if I wanted to search the ERIC database for second language, let's say second language acquisition and learning disabilities. So perhaps I want to research the connection between second language acquisition and learning disabilities. I could use the Boolean operator and notice that I get 23 hits, which is not too many. It's not very overwhelming. Sometimes if I'm using Google to do a search, I might get up to 3 million hits. So using these databases is going to refine your search a good bit more. As you scroll through your results, you can see this happens to be a report, which is the first source, which is totally fine. That would be considered an academic source because it comes from the Regional Educational Laboratory. We also have an academic journal here, which would fit under our peer-reviewed category. So there are several academic journals that you might take a look at. Now, just really quickly, I wanted to show you the process for keeping track of the sources that you would like to use. If I look at my third result here, general education and special education teachers collaborate to support English language learners. That article looks like it might actually give me some good ideas and suggestions for practical application in the classroom. It is a full text. I can see here that I have the full text as compared to number 4, which actually does have the full text listed but not in a PDF format. What's interesting to note is that when you do have a PDF, you may download that PDF, so you can click on it and then download the actual file and save it to your computer. However, you want to be sure that you do save any sources that you want to access later, not using this link in the address bar, but using the right-hand menu. The reason you don't want to use this link is because it is a temporary link, because these databases are proprietary. All of these links are temporary, so if you were to copy and paste this link, it would not bring you back to this article. Just keep that in mind. However, you have several options in the right-hand toolbar. You can, of course, save this source. Your safest bet is to probably email it to yourself or to click the permalink option. When you click the permalink option, you get a pop-up in the middle to upper part of your screen, and this proxy link is a permanent link. So it will bring you every time right back to this particular article. Don't favorite this page because, again, this is a temporary link and will not work again in the future. In addition to being able to save the permalink or email the article to yourself, you can also click the Cite button, and I'm sure many of you are familiar with this, but we have several different documentation styles, APA, Chicago. The two that you will be most likely to use would be MLA or APA. So either of those would be more likely for you to use. So that's a little bit about how the database works. Of course, you can print from the database. I would encourage you to use any of the databases listed under educational databases, and that's how we accessed it from the library's screen. You could also use the generalized databases. So if you'll remember, we actually had Academic Search Complete and Academic One File, which are also very, very helpful. And in doing some preliminary searches, I was able to get some really good results from those. The last thing I want to share with you is if you are using Google Scholar and you come across an article that you're not able to access the full text in Google Scholar, we have a tool on the USC Upstate Library called Full Text Finder. This is a great tool in that you can search across all of our university databases, and you can see there are quite a few listed here. You will need the title of the journal that you are searching for. So for example, if we were to go to Google Scholar, and if we were to search second language acquisition and learning disabilities, so the same keyword that I was using in the database that yielded 23 results yields almost 5,000, 500,000 results in Google. So obviously there are many more sources coming up in our results, but that also makes it a little bit like drinking water from a fire hydrant, difficult to manage. If you come across an article here and are not able to access the full text, for example, sociocultural theory and the genesis of second language development, if we click that result, we are given the citation, and I'm not sure if we would be able to access the full article. Often you are limited to just the citation. However, this seems to be a book. Let's see if we can find a journal. So we've got several books listed here. Let's see. Okay, this is from the Modern Language Journal. So if we were looking for this article, and it does seem that we have the entire article, but let's just assume we didn't, we could actually use the title of the journal to search for it in our full text finder database. So our journal title is the Modern Language Journal. So I can type that in, and you'll notice it comes up automatically in the autocomplete. Modern Language Journal. The second thing I'm going to need, and it helps to have two separate tabs here, is the date of the article. So September 1993. And I'm going to look for September 1993 in the Modern Language Journal. So I've found the journal. I actually see that we do have full text access in actually 5 different databases. So any of these databases are going to have full text access to that particular journal. And then of course you can see some of the dates are refined over here. When I go to Education Full Text, I could then search the specific year, which in this case was 1993, and then I could look for the specific volume and then find the title of the article. So Full Text Finder is another way for you to find these articles, especially if you're using Google Scholar and you come across an article that you're not able to access via the internet. Just come back to the library's homepage, click Full Text Finder, and using the journal title, you should be able to find it. So I'll go ahead and wrap up. I have kept you a little bit longer than I had planned, but these are the links from our Blackboard course site that you will need to use to access those library databases. And if you'd like to brush up on or get some tips for doing your research, use this library research guide. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to email me, and I look forward to the research that you discover. Good luck!